Welcome to Season 4 of My Wife the Dietitian, a fun, evidence-based weekly podcast about nutrition and healthy living.
On today's show, we're going to delve into some of the secrets of longevity based on the blue zones around the world. Want to live forever? Stay with us.
Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to My Wife the Dietitian. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Rob.
How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome. It's shaking.
It's been a week of milestones in our family, and I thought we would talk about the blue zones because it's kind of related.
Okay.
Partly, your mom just had a birthday, and she's 91.
Whoa, 91.
And your dad's 92.
I know, right? They're getting up there.
Yeah, and you know, there's something called, well, you've heard of centenarian?
Mm-hmm.
So how old are centenarians?
100 or more. 100?
You got it. Yeah, 100 or more. Exactly.
Well, it's like
exactly.
a century, right? Centenarian is like, comes from the word century, which is 100.
Yeah. Exactly. And from 90 to 100, there's a different name.
An almocentenarian.
It's called non-agenarian.
A non-agenarian. Not Asian.
No.
Agen.
Agen. So
okay.
NONAGENARIAN.
Okay. So that means between 90 and 100.
Yeah. Non-agenarian. So yeah, between 90 and 100. And then have you heard of a super centenarian?
Well, I would assume that's like over 100.
110 plus.
Oh, wow. You got to, 109, you're just a regular centenarian still. But once you hit 110, you get the title like,
super.
You get the parade and all the big fuss and all.
There's about 150 to 300 super centenarians alive in the world right now.
Wow.
110 years old or older.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's totally doable. It's just, you look at all the things that we do in our life, and there's so many things that we can change to be healthier. And I guess those people have that figured out, and they probably have good genes, and, you know, it's just all the stars align for them. And, they just keep on ticking.
Yeah. Before we get going, I wanted to actually mention about a world record setter for a person who lived the longest in the books.
Okay.
122-year-old, 122 plus 164 days. And at that point, you're counting the days, I'm sure.
Oh, I bet.
And this person was from France, Jean Calment, and she was mentally and physically active into her last days, and she attributes 3 things to living long: port wine, olive oil, and a sense of humor.
Yeah, that's all
awesome,
important things for sure. Good for her.
Yeah. So, yeah, the secret to a long and healthy life isn't a series of hacks like taking exotic supplements or anti-aging berries, like some, obscure berry that isn't available in your area, or doing some fad diet or counting calories. These aren't, things that are going to help with longevity or, vitality. So, I think there's a lot of marketing out there, and there's a lot of commercialism around anti-aging and longevity.
Yeah, it's definitely a new fad kind of, well, it's probably not new, but it's definitely one of those things that gets people's attention and sells products.
Yeah. And I mean, we're going to talk today about the key health habits of people living in the blue zones, and then some practical terms that we can bring into our own life. But part of it too was, 2 days ago was our 26th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary, honey.
Oh, thank you. That's impressive.
It is impressive. Holy, over 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's longevity.
It sure is.
In this
putting
day
up
and
with
age.
me for that long. Yeah, absolutely. That deserves a prize.
Oh my goodness. And on one of our road trips, driving after visiting our family, it's about 3 hours away where our family lives, like our parents. And we picked up a book at one of those little libraries called The Blue Zones by Dan Buettner.
Yeah, great book. Great documentary series, too, available on various places.
Yeah, we watched that. It's Lessons for Living Longer from the People Who Lived the Longest by Dan Buettner, National Geographic. And we read this book, the whole book. Remember you were driving and I was reading?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Fun. I know. It's kind of like books on tape, but like books in real life.
But
next
live.
To you. Yeah, live. That's
the speaker is sitting next to you.
That was fun. Well, because we've done like a lot of episodes around longevity and blue zones and food, exercise. So some of the ones that I'm going to mention and we'll put in the show notes. Episode 119, Blue Zones Foods for Longevity with Liz Weiss, dietitian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
117. And then we did episode 166, Longevity and Exercise.
Right.
And on that theme, episode 150, we did Active Hobbies for Women with Dr. Rosalind Moore.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put that in the show notes too. And episode 110 with Michelle Sari, dietitian, on aging well and nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 42 is a famous one that we've done. Beans are good for your heart. That one. Remember that?
Oh, that was a while ago. Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about that, about the beans. So important. Also, episode 125 that you and I did on Mediterranean diet and blue zones combined. Because there's 2 of the blue zone places.
In the Mediterranean.
The Mediterranean. So that's where I'm asking, where are the blue zones?
Well, the first one I know, it's because we've been there, is Sardinia, or Sardinia, however you pronounce it.
Italy?
Yeah, that's in Italy, yeah. That's an island off the Italian coast.
Right.
Beautiful spot.
Yeah.
There's Icarus or Icarus.
Yeah.
Not sure how you pronounce that, in Greece.
Awesome. Those are both the Mediterranean zones.
Yeah. And then Okinawa, Japan.
Yes. And cool fun fact is we have been at a potluck and one of our friends is from Okinawa, Japan. He's in our wind community. He does kiteboarding and he comes over every year.
Every summer. I know.
Yeah, from Okinawa.
It's wild.
His brother lives close, like on the island, and he visits his brother. But it's really cool talking to him. Where's another one?
There's one in Costa Rica. I can't remember the name of the place. Nicoya.
You got it.
Costa Rica. And then Loma Linda, California.
Right. In North America.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little isolated hub of a community.
Kinda?
Yeah. So, and it's really cool just to think of what the blue zones, what
defines them?
Yeah.
I think they're the places, I think when Dan Buettner sort of did his research, he looked at demographics and stats of the places in the world where people lived the longest. And some of them stood way out, they were living into their hundreds, and a lot of the people in these places were living longer than everywhere else. And so he's like, okay, let's look at what they're doing. What's their secret? And that's the nature of his documentary, is he sort of went and visited all these places and sort of combined all the results and came up with some sort of patterns, I guess, of what people are doing. And yeah.
And all the interviews he did and all the photos and filming on location in these people's homes and talking to them. And these people were, most of them, he said, 90% of them were so welcoming and curious and interested in him, and not the whole idea grumpy old men.
Yeah,
Like,
it was the opposite.
The opposite.
Happy people.
Yeah, like just content and welcoming and generous and giving. You know, like this one woman, he said she welcomed him in, and she basically lived in a hut on like with dirt floors, and she started to, like, they were talking and she just started cooking, and he kind of thought, oh, this is odd and kind of rude, like she's kind of ignoring me. But she went and grabbed an egg from the hen that was her hen, and a little bit of like some sort of pita, like a flatbread thing that she made from scratch, and then she made it and then offered him half. So she was like making him a meal as they were talking, and he was thinking, wow, this is like, she has hardly any food or any means or any resources, and she's offering me half right now of like her day's intake or whatever. So it's just like, wow, this is so generous and welcoming, and they're curious about, you know, what's going on for you and where are you from? Tell me about your family. You know, so it kind of like gives you a sense of,
it's not a rat race. In other words, their lives are simple, and you know, it's just the basics.
Yeah. And there's some principles that I want to just kind of distill it down to. Like, we're going to talk about the kind of the eating habits, but also the lifestyle principles for longevity, taken from all these 5 different areas around the world, the blue zones. So one is move naturally. So like no gym memberships needed kind of thing. Like, I mean, you can do that for sure, but that's not what these people and for generations they did. I know our world is different these days. That's a big disclaimer, because the environment has changed a lot in terms of our daily activities, how we're living, you know, isolated in nuclear families and, you know, homes that are separated. So it's a little bit different than living in a village. But people used, you know, just daily activities like physical tasks, cooking and gardening and walking. So these are all ways to move your body every day instead of like sitting all day.
Right. And then going to the gym to get your exercise.
Yeah. So that's just an interesting thing. And I mean, it's really important, you know, stretching, the balance, the flexibility to prevent falls, heavy lifting, you know, whatever you're lifting in your home, like when you're doing labor to fix your home or to work around your area, that's going to give you some natural movement and just everyday physical tasks, right? So that's number one, is move naturally. And then when we did talk to Dr. Rosalind Moore about active hobbies for women, that's the other thing, like have fun with whatever you're doing. So if it's a gruel, if you're feeling like it's like boot camp and, oh, I don't want to do it, you're dreading it, it's hard to stick with it. So if you do something that you're having fun doing, that helps to keep you doing it.
Always. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, hiking, cycling, swimming, those are all great ways to move naturally.
Exactly.
Number 2 is purpose. Have you heard of Ikigai?
I don't think so.
Okay, it's the Japanese concept that means a reason for being.
Oh, okay.
Or a reason to wake up in the morning. It embodies the feeling of finding joy and purpose in life.
Right.
By aligning one's passions and talents and values and the needs of the world. So it's interesting. We actually have what is this called? On our fridge that we've had kind of on our fridge for the kids to see and to us to look at. It's
I don't know what you call it. It's kind of like finding your purpose. Yeah,
it's got 4 circles and they're all interacting. And so Ikigai is that which you love, that which you're good at, which is kind of like passion, and then profession, and that which you can be paid for, and that which the world needs. So then in the middle is like the passion, profession, mission, and vocation.
Yeah, where they all sort of intersect.
Exactly. And then the very middle, like that star there, is the ikigai.
Oh, okay.
Because that's, it's about discovering what truly matters to you and living a life filled with purpose and satisfaction.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's a important concept.
It's a really important concept that a lot of people don't really follow. Like, I have so many friends, and there's so many people that I've come across in life that are doing something that that just doesn't bring them joy, but they feel they have to do it anyway. And, you know, you can see the sort of negative impact it's having on their life. And it's, they just keep plugging away, and they're like counting down the days till they retire. And then they think life is going to be like a bed of roses then, but it isn't really. I mean, it's so important to be doing things every day that are making you happy and not waking up full of dread.
Yeah, I agree. And like living your life now instead of like waiting for retirement.
Exactly.
Like, how many people have we known or that you hear about that, you know, work until they're 65, 70 and finally get to retire, and they've, you know, dreamed about retirement, and they're, you know, putting all their eggs in that basket of retirement. And then a few weeks after retirement.
Yeah, they drop dead.
Yeah. Or health crisis or something that prevents them from actually living that life that they wanted in retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a important, I think it's really important to identify your purpose and your reason why. So that's number 2. Number 3 is downshifting, meaning like tapping into how you're feeling over the day, because we all have circadian rhythms, and we have, you know, high energy parts of the day. We have low parts of the day. So, you know, napping, or also just tapping in with reflection, like journaling, prayer for some people, like, you know, all these parts of the day of your daily rhythm are important for your own energy and how you live your life. Because if we just keep going and like fueling ourselves with coffee or caffeine in the afternoon, or, you know, just feeling so overstimulated by the end of the day, you need to have a drink. You know, these kind of activities and ways of living aren't super helpful or supportive. Like, it's really important to downshift. As humans, I mean, we live a lot in our brain, and our mind is going all the time, especially nowadays when in our modern living with, you know, being connected to the internet and being, you know, on our, you know, with email and social media.
Yeah, it's a 24/7 world now.
Yeah. Yeah. People can work from all over.
You know, what's interesting is we belong to, like Sandra was mentioning before, we're into wind sports. And one of the places that we've always enjoyed going for years and years is this lake and campground that's out in the middle of nowhere. And it was amazing because it was disconnected. There was no Wi-Fi, there's no electricity, there's no running water. Like, you have to bring everything. It's completely roughing it. But it was amazing because of that. And when everyone went there, everyone was just like, it was an escape. So it was completely back to the basics. Everyone was unplugged. There was no phones or anything like that. And recently they've added all those amenities to make it more attractive to people so that they can work there and blah, 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 right? But it's kind of like, I don't know if that's an improvement, because now, like, introducing these places where you're connected all the time, you don't get that opportunity to disconnect, which is, it's so valuable to be able to do that. Like people go on vacation. The whole idea of a vacation is to get away from the things that you're doing every day. But if you go on vacation and you're able to bring your laptop with you and still work and check your emails and all that, that's not a good thing. Do you know what I mean? But people think, oh, it's great, I can work while I'm away, and so that you don't actually like get that chance to give your body and your brain, your whole self a break.
Right.
And it's so important to be able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I know it, well, with this day and age, we can work remotely and online. And I guess for some of the people, they feel like they're able to stay for 2 or 3 weeks versus just a few days or just the weekend because they can, work remotely. But I get it.
But I think even if it's like, oh, well, I'm just working for an hour in the morning and then I get the rest of the day. But I think you need a clean break. Like that's what weekends were for originally, like the 5-day work week. And then you'd get your 2 days where you wouldn't work. You would do other things completely. You'd get that break from work. Right. But now people they don't get that break. And yeah, I don't think it's great.
Yeah. It's definitely, just a new reality for this day and age. And for some, I mean, it's way better than working like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, because then you can have some flexibility in your time.
Yeah, you sort of have to find ways to create those breaks in your life. But if you're not able to, or you don't recognize that, then it sort of creeps up on you. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and managing stress and reflection and naps and prayer, those are all important for downshifting. Number 4 was the 80% rule. So do you remember what that is?
I think that can apply to a lot of things in life, but like not going overboard and just, I know with food, it's like eat till you're 80% full or eat good food 80% of the time or
right.
There's a few.
This one is called hara hashibu, and it's an Okinawa term. And it's basically avoid overeating. So when you're 80% full, that you stop eating. So basically you're mindfully eating, you're not multitasking, you're eating more slowly. You don't ever get like overstuffed where you're feeling like, when we do the hunger scale, 1 to 10, like 10 is like, oh, I'm so full, I'm never going to eat again. Or, like you just feel so stuffed. So you don't ever let yourself get to that. Like, so you watch, you check in with yourself through the meal and you're eating more slowly. So you're not like dashboard dining where you're like multitasking and eating or, like you're sitting down having a meal with friends or family.
Right.
And not like completely just eating everything on the buffet and, not eating all day. So you could eat a big meal when you go out.
Right.
So yeah, that's the 80% rule, or hara hachibu, which is a term. It's the 80% rule. And I think that's good. We're trying to practice that more often.
Yeah.
And then plant-based. So a plant slant, having your kind of overall over the week, more whole foods, more whole grains, less processed. Meat is more of a flavoring, an accent. Yeah, more than like the center part of the meal. And, we talked about the plate ratio. So the meat, if you have meat, then it would be about a quarter of the plate. And then half the plate's veggies and a quarter, some sort of whole grain or the starchy part of the plate, as you call it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the also like whole over refined. So using more those whole grains, quinoa, brown rice, oats, barley, sourdough, and then limit the highly processed snacks like the ones made with the flour and like the crackers, that snack crackers. And, I think a lot of people use those foods as their main snacks between meals.
Right.
Because they're easy, they're convenient. You just open them up and fills the
void.
Yeah. Yeah. So trying to have more whole over refined. Another aspect of the lifestyle principles, most of these blue zones included some sort of, kind of a happy hour. So it's kind of like at the end of the day with friends, having some wine. So that's more to socialize and just unwind, not as a coping mechanism.
Right. I understand. Yeah. Like the sort of a communal kind of interaction.
Yeah. Exactly. And then another one is just that sense of belonging. So most of these places are faith-based and they have some sort of community and spiritual calling or faith that they feel a sense of community and belongingship.
Yeah, it's a connection with others and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then the next one is family first and loved ones. So, making sure that you're looking out for your family. It's always important, those bonds of connection, aging parents, and making sure you are spending quality time with kids. And then the next one is positive social circles. So again, it's kind of, we just mentioned that, but the sense of connection and having others. And they say like the 5 friends that you hang out with, like that is going to influence your health and your life and your quality of life. So if you're hanging out with people that are always negative, or if you're hanging out with people that are, one of the examples that Dan Buettner has talked about is if your 5 friends are like have these really unhealthy habits, then you're more likely to have really unhealthy habits too.
Oh, that makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where that part comes in. It's just that sense of the social circles and what are people doing, their behaviors, what are they talking about? This really affects who you are as a person too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then when we did talk to Liz Weiss, Blue Zone Foods for Longevity, episode 117, we did talk about, whole foods, less processed, spend time in the kitchen. So we want to include vegetables, nuts, whole grains, beans. So beans are good for your heart, that episode. So you think of like lentil soup or vegetable stir fry, bean tacos, oatmeal with fruit and nuts. These are all, kind of plant forward foods and meals that are whole versus refined. And they're giving us those whole grains and some good important vitamins, minerals, and nutrition. And then the next one is that we talked about was eating beans most days. So half a cup a day is great to aim for. This is the one that really is a struggle for a lot of clients that I work with. It's just not in their weekly habit at all.
Yeah, it's not like a standard meat and potatoes kind of thing that's ever been like a mainstay in most people's kind of daily routine as far as their eating, right?
Yeah, but we know that in the blue zones, that's the one component in terms of diet that is kind of consistent over the 5 blue zones is they do eat beans regularly.
Right.
So it's not just beans. It could be lentils. It could be chickpeas, edamame, black beans, legumes, pulses, whatever you want to call them. But they are a key component for good long living into older years.
Right.
So that's really important. And then using olive oil, especially the Mediterranean blue zones, we saw that the olive oil replaces a lot of the processed oils, the margarines and butter. So those are the main ones. Should we recap?
I think we should.
Okay. So move naturally, having a purpose.
That's huge.
To wake up, your why. That's huge in all stages of life, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Forever. Like that is really important for a 109-year-old to have a purpose when they wake up.
Yeah, exactly. That's what keeps you moving forward.
Yeah. A lot of times it's family and giving back and whatever that is. Number 3 is downshifting, or like helping to manage your daily rhythms, manage stress. Number 4 is the 80% rule. So stop eating when you're 80% full. Avoid overeating. 5 is kind of more plant forward, or eating more whole foods that are plant-based. Not necessarily becoming vegan, but having meat more as a flavor more than a meal or the central part of the meal.
Yeah, I think a lot of people could probably include more vegetables in general.
Vegetables and beans and nuts and whole grains.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah, just replace the processed food with more veggies. I think that's pretty standard for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're going to have some alcohol, maybe with friends and not alone or not a way to cope with the end of the day.
Yeah, make it a social experience rather than just sitting drinking alone to use the alcohol to numb your stress.
Right. Yeah, exactly. The next part is the belonging or having some faith-based connection with others.
Mm-hmm.
And loved ones first. So family, really key and important for people who live a long and contented life.
Yeah, they're not alone. They're surrounded by loved ones, it seems.
Yeah.
And they're engaged. They're not, they're all playing a role in that scenario too. Everyone's still active and engaged in their sort of role in that group. I'm just based on what we saw in the documentary.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, and that also is that whole positive social circles and sense of belonging and connectedness.
Yeah, and purpose.
Yeah, so that's some lifestyle principles taken from the Blue Zone that can help with longevity and vitality and quality of life. Yeah,
I encourage you to check that documentary out. It's really interesting, and it'll give you some ideas about, just kind of help you set some goals as far as your own life and longevity and that sort of thing. So, and it's just fun to sort of see these other parts of the world. It's a great documentary. So that is it for this episode. If you want more information on what we are doing or on health stuff in general, check out our website. It's mywifethedietitian.com. We've got a great blog on there with all sorts of different information, different articles, a lot of guest articles. Guests that have joined us on our show have contributed articles on the blog. So there's lots there to explore. We also have a weekly newsletter that's free to join. You can sign up for that on the website as well. If you have questions for us, we love answering listener questions. So you can email those to us at mywifetherd@gmail.com. You can also find us online. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Feel free to reach out to us there as well. If you like the show, let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We like to know that we are giving you the information that you are needing. And you can give us feedback through rating and reviewing, through leaving comments on our social media, or, like I said, through emailing us. You can also share with a friend. That's a great way to help us move the show forward, get more people on board. And that is it for this episode. We'll be back on Wednesday with Nutrition Nuggets. So until then, have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.